Hi, and I've taken a little bit of time away from making my normal sort of videos to quickly do one about LucasLabrador, or Justin the Preacher as he's now known. He found himself banned from YouTube, and several people have made videos about him. I just wanted to make my own. Now, they said bad things about him, and of course he got himself kicked off. I'd like to say that I was not one of those people. And I personally think he has a right to his opinion, even if he is one of those sort of born-again types that doesn't like being called religious. And by being born again, he thinks he can escape a past life. And in fact, he's a self-confessed adulterer. But don't let me put you off before we start. Now, let me show you a clip from his return video, and you will see.
Hello again, here we are in the sunny countryside of England, and just to make a little video as to what happened by the hate attack that was made against my LucasLabrador account on YouTube, and just pointing everybody to where we are now. This account, which this video is loaded up to, will be the base again, Justin the Preacher. Basically, I'm the same person. I'm doing what I can to kind of spread the things around a bit, so we're less vulnerable to the hate attacks from the enemies of God. And of course, they'll say, "Oh well, it was all your fault," but it was them who caused all the trouble in the first place.
Well, as you see, we have this sort of kindly-faced, sort of middle-aged man. Well, middle-aged if he lives to be 110, but he thinks he's been the victim of a hate attack, and obviously, you know, it's not his fault. So I have to ask the question, so why do these people want you off of YouTube, Justin?
Because they are Satanists by nature. As I said before, the things of God are anathema to them because they serve Satan, the father of lies.
Okay, so Justin he's got many videos which you can check out yourself and make your own decisions, obviously at your own leisure. But I've chosen excerpts from his videos. He did 2 videos on feminists. Again, check them out yourself. But these videos are of course edited for this video, but I've tried not to take them out of context. Feel free to watch them and watch them in full, obviously, and judge for yourself.
However, the issue then basically before us here is feminism. These right to shave, the right to shave concrete prune-hearted women who have sought after a man's role, position and function in society and have paid for it with their femininity. And we start to hear on the media, radio, television or whatever, stroppy, concrete, prune-hearted right to shave women railing at men all the time at every opportunity. So what the feminists choose to do, and in the wickedness and depravity that they engage in, particularly facilitated now by the whoring pill, where they can go off and whore around as much as they like and not pay the price for it by and large. And if they do, they can turn to cold-blooded, premeditated murder called abortion if they happen to get pregnant despite taking the whoring pill. Feminism is sin and wickedness, and it isn't found amongst the type of Christians that God owns, the type 1 narrow way Christians. Broad roaders and type 3 Christians, the nominal Christians, all burn alive anyway. So there's no good a feminist pointing to the ways of the world and saying, but I think this. But the person that made and owns you says something else. What is the point of holding a standard that is contrary to the standard that you will be judged by on Judgment Day? What sort of madness is that? The Lord God's model is very simple, that the woman was made from the man for the man. She was made as a helpmeet for him. She was not made as a standalone, self-sufficient person, equal to a man. So what does Satan do? He reverses that and does exactly that, tries to make women equal at least to men, and then begins to put women in charge over men and reverse God's structure absolutely, so that we get the sodo-matriarchal model of society, where society is ruled by sodomite sex perverts and deranged and depraved women. However, feminism is sin, extreme sin against God, as is whoring and fornicating, lying, stealing, murder, sodomy, paedophilia, adultery, and anything else you care to think of. I'm suggesting now that amongst us, the Lord God's people, it's time that the wicked women were confronted, and if they won't take their place, that they are ordered into their role and position, or they are told to leave. And it's time that the men took their role and their position. If you're a man and you're listening to me and you're genuinely soundly saved, and I'm not talking about if you're a baby Christian now, you've only been saved 5 years or 10 years or something, and you're only very young in the Lord, I don't mean you. I'm talking about those who've been saved for some time now. The Lord God made you a man in his body. He made you master and head of your house. It's time now that you took control and mastered the woman. The women have a particular role. They have been told to sit in quiet in a fellowship assembly. They're not to contradict the men. They're not to try and rule the men. They may not preach. They may not teach. They may not take authority in any form except over children. And now I believe there's a time has come where we have got to face down the wicked women, the wayward women, the women who will not obey. We are in charge and command and control. And we are told that's what he wants and that's what we'll have. Now, I'm thinking particularly here of the wicked women who dare preach and teach, and I could name some. And the men who won't take authority over their wives must be told to do so. I get all sorts of messages from wicked women who love the filth of feminism. As you might imagine, of course, I mean, the comments that go up on my videos are all vetted first, and of course I delete the wicked ones. And of course the vast majority I've noticed of these wicked women is they cannot speak without using the foulest gutter language and four-letter expletives joined together with the odd English word. They seem to be unable to express themselves without using the language of the cesspit. Well, they're cesspit dwellers, of course, and that's why. What the world's people do, and the putrid, depraved, Satanist women outside the fellowship, outside the church, what they get up to is a matter for them. It's nothing to do with us at all. They burn anyway. Even if they decided to live like decent Christian people do and take their role and be proper wives and mothers and what have you, then that wouldn't alter their standing before God. Your God-given role, if you are soundly born again, is as a man. You may not take authority over men that are older than you. Okay, you're to defer to them and respect them. But nevertheless, you must not allow the wicked women there to have their rebellion. I believe there's time for confrontation now. I'd be interested to hear your feedback.
Now, despite this man's opinions, I would in fact defend this man's rights to have them, even if he sees me as wicked in his eyes. Now, although this man has always deleted my comments and obviously does not see me in a good light, as it were, or the sort of man he would even see fit to talk to, I've subscribed to his videos. And the thing is, it's because of a man like this, I think that this man does more for the atheist cause than I ever could. And sadly, this is the only way I can express myself about him. He refuses to take any comments and anything logical at any rate. And of course most people are beneath his very high status. I wonder if he in fact would defend my rights to my opinions. I leave you with the last word from Justin.
So I'm going to spread my videos around everywhere for everybody, and inevitably the wicked will be offended again.